real quick.
Sure, no, it's fun.
A couple of the followers chimed in over the week here.
Yes,
so
good.
someone actually out of the UK, going by Sandra Black 9, had asked us, what is your favorite red Beringer produced in the last 5 years?
Ooh, geez, that's like having 5 kids and asking which is your
gotta
favorite
answer.
kid. I'm gonna. My favorite red from Beringer in the last 5 years. Well, it would be, I guess it wouldn't be silly of me to say the Private Reserve Cabernet is a standout wine, but that's really above the everyday drinking level. That's what we call, you've got your Sunday through Thursday wines, and I'm going to answer her question in a Sunday through Thursday context, because then you get your Friday, Saturday wines, and then you have your Boss Coming to Dinner wines, right?
Yeah.
So Private Reserve's Boss Coming to Dinner. Friday, Saturday might be our Napa Valley wines, and I'd probably say at that point, the Beringer, I really like Pinot Noirs. Beringer's Napa Valley Pinot Noir is probably, Pinot Noir's always been one of my faves.
Mm-hmm.
And then, because I'm a big Shiraz fan, Sunday through Thursday, Beringer's Founders Shiraz.
Fantastic. Coming from right here in Toronto, we have Generator 35. Quick question, whether you feel that aerating and decanting is a bit overused?
I think it's underused and misunderstood. I just bought this pretty cool decanter. I was actually given it for Christmas last year. And what it is a decanter that has a rubber flange on it. You open your bottle of wine and you put the decanter on top of your wine, and then you lift it over and the bottle cascades showing, you know, it's really cool little fountain effect, right? And you're thinking, oh, that's a great show, but then you turn it back over and it double decants it back into the bottle. And when I got it, my daughters and I tested it out, and they tested me 3 times on one that had been decanted, and we opened up the same bottle, undecanted. They gave me the glasses, and 3 for 3, I guessed which one was decanted. And I told them I probably wouldn't be able to.
Right.
I didn't believe it was going to make a big enough impact.
Yeah.
And 3 for 3, and everybody else, though knowing the difference, said they saw a difference too. The wine was more opened up, more fruit, more lush. And that was on an everyday wine. That wasn't on, you know, a Private Reserve or something like that. I have known of restaurants in the Napa Valley, one specifically that decanted every single wine for every single person, white or red. So I think it can be misunderstood, but I think it can actually, you know, your wine's suffocating in there a little bit, you know, and pouring it lavishly in your glasses, rolling it, that does a little bit, but when you get that double aeration I got, and then you pour it into your glass, it's almost like a 3rd time. It does make a difference.
I'd agree with you for sure. And then Victoria, just north of the city here. So this might be a tough one for you based on some of the stuff you said a bit earlier. But what would you call the easiest pairing red and the easiest pairing white?
If I were to get away from the fact that if you just had your most simply properly seasoned, roasted, sauteed, or grilled meat, fish, or poultry, once that's done, that is going to make any wine easy to pair with it. If you want to go from the wine side, if we eliminate off-dry wines just because they're very popular, but I think at the wine show, if you went to the wine show today, there's probably going to be a minority are off-dry.
I'd say people in their cellar don't necessarily have a ton of off-dry.
Right. I mean, you can have very expensive ones like we talked about, Spot Lace or Rieslings or something. But the point I'm eliminating that is because we don't drink them as frequently, 1, or 2, they are the most food friendly. So I'm going to eliminate that, but the person who do drink Beringer Moscato and White Zinfandel, they're probably going to be happier more times than anybody else. Because you have a buffer to the food and wine pairing by the residual sugar. So if we eliminate that category, then I would go with unoaked whites and soft tannin reds. Soft tannin meaning it could be a Shiraz, it could be dark in color, but a lot of Shiraz, Wolf Blast Shiraz, beautiful, deep, rich flavor. Rosemount Shiraz, beautiful, deep, rich flavor, but they're generally softer tannin. You could go to Zinfandel. Oh, but it's spicy. Yeah, but it's not usually dry and tannin. Pinot Noir and Mini Merlot. So you stick with those 4 grape varieties as a red, they're probably the most forgiving with food. Pick the flavor you like. You don't like Shiraz? Do Merlot. You don't want Merlot? Do Center Pinot. You see what I'm saying?
And I think that's a key because everyone doesn't have huge cellars and they don't have 20 bottles of wine on hand where they spend endless time trying to pair them with what they're making. So there is sort of an element of simplicity to
there really is.
Try to help that regular everyday person out.
I call my sister a Chardonnay-aholic, and I've tried to introduce her to other wines. She asks me to, just doesn't like them, and she drinks her Chardonnay. And I've said, Tam, okay, great. When you're having your food, just make sure you use proper salt seasoning. Stay away from sweet garnishes, and you'll like your Chardonnay with your grilled steak. You'll like it with your lamb chop. You'll like it with your chicken.
Fantastic. And I'm going to switch gears a little bit for you here. We're going to just sort of wrap things up real quick with some rapid fire for you.
Okay.
So one word, quick answers for you. Going to put you on the spot a little bit on some of these. The ever problematic question, what is it for you? Is it wine on its own or is it wine with food?
Interviews.
Okay, we'll move on.
Wine
on its own or wine with food?
Well, wine on its own is the easiest because there's nothing to interfere or change the wine. That's the easiest.
Fantastic. You're stuck in traffic. What song do you want to come on the radio?
Probably just some good rock and roll.
Good old.
Take my mind off the traffic.
There you go. You're out for dinner. What's the one item that you really must have on the dessert list? For you.
For me.
Not as a cook, for you as a customer.
Me as a customer. Well, let's put it this way. When I see a tiramisu on the menu, I'm pretty much zeroing in on it.
That's me with creme brulee. Can't turn it down every time it's on the
menu.
Second. What's somewhere you've never had the chance to go, but you've always wanted to?
I'd really like to get to South Africa, of course, for just the history of the animals and the wine country.
There's some Pinot Noir. When you get home, as a cook now, with your chef's hat on, when you get home, you mentioned you have kids, what is it that you crave to make at home? The one dish that is always in the back of your mind you have to make.
That's the problem with me as being a chef. I always just walk into the market and then what jumps out at me. So I usually don't go in with a premeditated idea. I'd have to say that if I do, it's probably because there's something seasonal that's happening, like Dungeness crab season's happening in California, like right now, and that's on my mind. So I might be just going in and grabbing a Dungeness crab, and I learned away from our Hong Kong cooks. It's super simple. You take some sliced garlic and ginger, brown it in a little oil, take the cracked crab in the shell, throw it in there, heat it up a little bit, take about 3 or 4 eggs, whipped like scrambled eggs, throw it over the top of it, toss this all together, a little salt and pepper, and scallion over it. And the eggs take the garlic and the ginger and some of the crab flavor, and they're almost better than the crab itself. But then you eat that, licking the eggs off the crab. I'm going home and making that now.
Oh my goodness. So what wine's going with that?
That one I will probably, because of the higher amount of protein taste in egg and in crab. You also have garlic and ginger, which can add difficulty with tannins. I'm probably going to stay with a lighter red or go with a white.
Okay. 2 more for you?
Yeah.
The one wine visitors to Napa, they go to Beringer, it's the one wine they must try when they get there.
I'm going to have to say 2, because some people like white and some people like red.
One white,
I would have to say they'd have to try the Beringer Napa Valley Chardonnay. It's a fantastic wine, and I'd probably say that our Knights Valley Cabernet is a flagship wine that we've been making since the 70s. We made it before we had a private reserve. We made it before we had a Napa Valley, and so it's kind of like drinking a glass of history with Beringer. So the Knights Valley Cab and the Napa Valley Chard, I think, would be that. If you get to only have one white or red, that would be it.
Okay. And now here in Ontario, we know a lot about Napa. We're hearing a lot about Oregon. We're hearing a lot about Washington nowadays, a little bit as well. What is the one region coming from the U.S. that people need to start to really take notice of, other than Napa and Oregon?
Okay.
The one up-and-coming region that people really need to start to take notice of.
Pay attention to the whole Santa Barbara County Central Coast. It's been coming on for a while, but it's making fantastic Syrah, Pinot Gris, Chardonnays, cabs in the Paso Robles area, because people hear of Napa, Sonoma, they do hear of Willamette or Washington, Oregon. As far as the California region, it's not been really worldwide. I'd say the Santa Barbara, Paso area.
Well, fantastic. I'll let you get to your seminar at the Gourmet
Cool.
Food and Wine Show. Appreciate your time,
Appreciate
Jerry.
it.
Thanks very much.
My pleasure.